sell cheaper. So people took the truth. You know what I'm saying? As you can experience in your life, you can see them zombies out there, they violent, and I'm willing to destroy lives over small stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the spread of confusion that you now open the gates to because you took the juice. Them that took the juice, they took the juice and they opened the gates of hell instead of. So the spread of confusion and degeneration will continue all the way, all the way, all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the priests of Satan on YouTube. They always teaching teaching you false history, false science, and by accepting this false history and false science, they give you false narratives of life for false identities. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're dealing with in this channel, and that's why they don't want to deal with us. Understand that? So these teachers on YouTube be telling you that we are out of our minds and we don't want to identify with so-called African continent. Yeah, all the BS, people. And how can you identify with something that, first of all, doesn't belong to you? Yeah, and the priest is saying that you have to have a cool thing, you gotta have a DNA test, and if you pass the DNA test, then you are in fact an African. The test is going to tell you what you are, and then they're going to place you into communities, into tribes. You know what I'm saying? But everything gets bizarre when it tries to tell you that you know you gotta buy land. Back there in Africa, if you go back, you gotta buy land. You gotta buy resources. It's not free for you. The DNA test is not going to give you your resources back. That's what it's telling you. That you're gonna have to work like a pig and buy it all back somehow. I don't know how you're gonna buy it back from somebody who owns the entire continent. Yeah, because once you pay everything and buy land there, let's say you go to Africa right now, you have a lot of money that you don't. But okay, your people gave you that money to go there buy land, and you spend, let's say you spend 20 million and you bought a big piece of land, and don't think that this land is gonna come without tax. So you're hooked for life. And people that tax you can do whatever they want. They print also the money. They can create inflation and tax you out of the land anytime they want. Understand that it's all an illusion. These guys are selling on you. You're never gonna ever gonna be free buying land. Yeah, buying your so-called African ancestors was from there, and they can prove that and this and that. For what? So that you can go back there and buy them land? Them dusty lands that nobody wants with dirty water that they been putting oil and all this for decades. You're gonna do the cleaning now, and you're gonna buy and do the cleaning, and it's still not yours. And when it's all clean, they're gonna overtax you and take it all back. You know what I'm saying? And your children have to leave, just like they did before, have to leave to other continents to work and send money to you, because Africa don't belong to you. They have to pay rent as well, like everywhere else. That's what you do with these things that you sell on YouTube. Yeah. And then they always tend to blame an outside entity, which is the entity that put up together all these African countries and the whole African culture that we see there. Brothers will show you what Africa was before, and it was not Africa even. It was something else. But now, after the resets, they call it Africa and tell you that all niggas came from there. All a new story, people. Yeah. But they don't own nothing in Africa, even though they claim they're Africans and they go back and forth to do business. Because that's all they can do in Africa. Do business. They can create nothing. They can't help no village or nothing. They gotta have money. But they have no resources until they have money. And the money, you know where it comes from. From the people that claim they're running away from. Does it make sense to you now? Look, they blame, all these curses in somebody outside of Africa. They blame it on Yahweh. They blame it in the Arabs. They blame it in the white man. They blame it in the Europeans. They blame it into the even the Greeks. All of them, they blame them. That's why Africa is a piece of shit like that. Because these guys are all following Socrates. You know, I explained to you, they all live inside this cave, and their reality is all simulation. Yeah. And these leaders that they have there on YouTube telling them that, they gotta be at the top, they gotta play the, what the word he use? Global power. Yeah, you can't stand alone and stand before the global powers. You gotta have power as well. Da, 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 da. But you have no power because you have no resources in Africa and you don't print money. What do you have? You want money of my money, of poor people, so you can go back there, spend it buying lands from the corporations that already own it, and will always own it. No, it's not happening. Yeah, it's too late for you to start playing that game of let's compete, because the beast don't compete with you. You are at the bottom and he's the top. That's that. He's not going to compete with you. He's not going to give you of his own money to go build Africa the way you want, because your people have ancient this and we are better. Dude, only people that took these shots, man, they need to be, you know, totally gone to follow you. And YouTube deleting our stuff. That's the only way. Your message can go across the whole world. You know, it's too late. If you have a bank, you don't have a bank. You can never have a bank. You can never print your notes. So you can never be free. Get real. Or get the hell out of here. With nation building anecdotes. Yeah, because I was quiet. I don't even want to be uploading videos for YouTube because I told you guys there's no point. Yeah, and then, maybe trying other places. Because YouTube days are coming to an end. Yeah, that's why I got all this falsehood going on. All these false prophets go to Africa and do business and colonize Africa with Yahweh business. That's what they're selling people. And all these zombie niggas uploading, going down. Yeah, but that's why the condition is what it is. Don't blame nobody else in 5 years, in 10 years, in 50 years for what's gonna happen, because, you did it. Yeah. Ask yourselves, how colonized is Africa now, right now? And you're going back there to be the what? The colonized. To be what? Civilian. Yeah. Because if all these niggas were in love, as they claim they love each other, let's have black power. Africa is black power. Why do they have all these flags dividing them? I already asked you guys about that before. Why they have all these flags all around them and don't know why. All these countries divided all around them, named and numbered by the entity that owns Africa. But it is going to fool you that Africa is a good place. I don't know why these niggers don't want to claim Africa. There's nothing to claim in there. It's not mine. It's not gonna be yours because you go back there or nothing. It's not you there or you in Europe or you in America. It's the same thing. Yeah, you are civilian. It's the same thing. No matter where you are today, you are a civilian because somebody got you in this state of civilianhood. You know how colonized is Africa, dude? Yeah, it's crazy. Nobody puts money in Africa. So when they talk to you about, oh, Africa has so many uh, resources, we got gold, man, we got silver, we got diamond, there's nothing we don't have in the soil. But you don't own this soil. The banks that already exist own this soil, which is the international banks. They own all this soil. What do you think you're going to do? What do you think? You're gonna go there and just own this because you're an African? It's just, I told you, it's just names that they gave you. Names are what? Contract. You just to be, you're supposed to be an African peasant that needs a passport, as they all, like, you can have, you know, different African passports and travel between each other, like, they do in Europe. So what? They can do these games on you and then tell you that Africa is all one thing at the same time. Yeah, but then he's gonna tell you these niggas hate Africa. They don't wanna claim Africa, and that's the only thing we can do. You can't claim something that is owned by somebody else, and you didn't deal with them because you don't want to face them because you're too scared. Yeah, you coward, and then you hide behind this slave plan that you make for your people. It's sad, people. Yeah, it's really, really sad what they do. All these black people, they all have citizenship. Don't forget that. Yeah. So we're not better off going to Africa to be citizens because we are already citizens where we at. Anywhere we go, you got to be citizens to have documents to open a bank account and all that stuff they tell you. Yeah, and they already broke down in my videos. In my other channel, they deleted that. They had so much information about all that. They come back, they telling you to vote and all that. Because they already deleted our channel, so now they can lie to you that you're supposed to buy in the system of Yhwh of voting religious. You know? hmm Yeah, all you need to know, man, they have no rights in this system that they gave you, with the history that they gave you, yeah, with the DNA that they gave you, with all the stuff that they gave you. You have no rights with all that crap because none of that came from you or your people. It was given to you to just use it to be a word of state, to be a civilian. That's all. Nothing else. All these princes and kings and this and that, it's all an illusion. If you're not gonna understand that, then you're gonna fall in that, in that talks. You're gonna fall for that talks. You're gonna put your money. And I told you in 50 years where you're gonna be worse than you are today. Okay? Because you should know that Africa and any other continents that you know are merely colonies. Yeah. And I told you guys we live in this lab, you know what I'm saying? It's so all a colony. And you can believe whatever the hell you like. But you're just a slave to the system. Okay? You can believe you are an African king. You have your ancestors were this or that. Whatever you believe, they gave you, and you believe that. That's all. It didn't come from you. It didn't come from your people. You're just a culture. That's why you say African culture. Because somebody cultivated that for you to chew. It did not come from your ancestors. Most of it. Yeah. I'm saying like 90% of it didn't come from your ancestors. It's all put together. They mix one thing or that because they always mix some truth. Because they got to mix the truth. To do the voodoo, they got to put some truth in there. But they're telling you 90% what they're telling you about Africa and all that crap, especially going back there to be slaughtered because it's not your land and you have no rights in there other than civilian. You're a peasant civilian. If you go back to Africa, can you explain that? They're not going to explain that to you because they want slaves. Yeah. Told you you can never, be depending on your controllers and then think that you're free. It's stupidity they sell you there on YouTube and they all under mind control. I told you they all took the shot and everything. Yeah, they all juiced. Don't forget that. And you following them. Yeah, they're gonna tell you, oh, these people are not like us. Of course we are not. You took the shot. You took the juice. We're not the same people because you took the juice. You sold out. 666 Yhwh property now. You never choose, you know, or nothing. You have no choice. You have property. They sold your soul. I told you all of them, the Israelites, all these Pan-Africans, all of them sold their souls and are out here talking crap. They can take you somewhere to give you a better life. It's all a BS, people. Don't let them fool you, man. We always a citizen because this is uh, what the game is. And so, and as long as you don't come out of that game, that you're a citizen, which you don't want to come out because you need your leaders, and to have them, you gotta be a citizen. There's no way other way around that. Because you're not gonna be owner of yourself. You need this this entity to guide you, right? Yeah. So you are disingenuous to yourself. All zombies, people. Yeah. See how Africans will claim that they love the blacks that are outside of Africa, but destroy the ones that are inside of Africa. How do I explain that? It's Yahweh stuff. Don't get involved. Yeah, it's all religion they're selling. All these guys are religious. Don't forget that. Even ones telling you that you're African and isn't, it's all religious priests from Rome because Africa belongs to Rome. Don't forget that. Yeah, it's all religious. And Africa was never no motherland of nobody. Yeah, it was a neverland for everybody. If anything, a slave land. So don't let them fool you that Africa was no, was always a slave land for as long as you've been living. And all you know, you was a slave land, and it's still a slave land. Don't let them fool you with the BS, man. Damn. So, as I've been telling you, that Africa was never ever no motherland to nobody. Yeah, it's owned by the world banks and these other big sharks. It's no culture of nobody. These niggas are just what etiquette or what you gonna call them. They're just projects. Okay, it's like if you rich and you buy a big piece of land, and then you can decide what projects you're gonna do in that land. You can have people living there. You can have animals living there. You can do whatever project you want. But it doesn't mean that these people and these animals own the land or any rights to it. It's not that these are just civilians. That's what I'm trying to guys to understand about the law. They don't teach you no law about what your condition about this contract. Telling you African is a contract. Don't you know that? Yeah. The World Bank controls all Africa and the whole other continent, and these controllers, these Decepticons, will tell you that no, Africa is a free place. We have this, we have no. They don't have nothing. The International Bank have everything. It's not a, don't let them fool you. No man shall save no African or Africans or nothing. That's how it goes. Anything they tell you is a foolery. Yeah, because all these African countries have been created by Yahweh. Don't forget that. Yahweh was the one that put them together from Rome and claimed rights to it and everything. Why do you think they sent uh, white Europeans and other people, Arabs and other people, and even other Africans to fight each other and take places and take lands and rename lands and everything? It was perpetually. You didn't think that they did all of that so that you can now move on there, work in a job, and pay and buy all the land back. Are you kidding? Are you that crazy? Yeah, because it's insane, man. And Africans, but have no rights in there. Yeah, you can see on TV every day. They have no right of nothing. Yeah. How does it make you a greater people? I don't get it. When was Africa so successful? I never seen it. Because see the place, the way they treat the people there, there's no way in a million years that these people are gonna be great people. Yeah. They can't even take charge in their own land. They're not in control. Don't forget that. So don't listen to their contracts. They're not in control of nothing or what's gonna happen to you when you got there. They can do whatever the hell they want. They telling you, we're gonna give you citizenship. We're gonna give you documents. But these are contracts. Okay? Like if you go to Africa now and issue a new identity, then you are under that state. And you know how fast African states live, but next minute there's a war, next minute, you're gone. Because you were part of that. Be careful. Yeah, because they had a lot of this done before in Africa and a lot of people been dying. And if you didn't die, you left. And now they want you back. So they can give you a name again. So you can fight another tribe because it's all religious. Yeah, that's why they can never take charge of the continent of nothing. Something already divide them to fight each other perpetually. Understand that? Yeah. Don't even listen to these Pan-Africans, Asians. They are all citizens. Standard. And these citizens need your money and your resources because they have no money and no resources from Africa. That they claim they are Africans, but they have no money and no resources from Africa. So they're taking you for a ride and taking your money. That's all they can do. But, you know, once you take the juice, you don't get it. Standard. You think you can buy back? They're telling you, they're teaching you, you gotta work and put your money back in Africa to buy the lands. Mm-hmm. See that? They deceived you and deceived you all the way. You know, they can never ever pay back for no land because they don't print the money. Yeah, and they couldn't, even if they could pay, they will have to deal with the taxes that will never ever go away. So the taxes and the levies, yeah, yeah, they're not going to disappear on you. So your children, their future, all slaves. It's not a, yeah, and you living now in a generation of most cowards. You know what I'm saying? He's white man. He's European. They're going to point their fingers at everybody, but not themselves, not what they believe or nothing. They're not going to change. They're not going to reform their souls. They lost their souls. It's not that. And the elites know that anyway, so let's keep going. First, you don't even have money to invest. Yeah. The whole Pan-African masochism is a trip to slavery, nothing else. It's not a, and they're gonna fool you about gold in Africa. Dude, we already exposed the whole thing about gold, silver, and all the stuff. That's why YouTube deleted the other channel. So these liars can come on YouTube and teach you about that. Tell you that, go to Africa and look for gold, nigga. You steal a sheep. That's what's happening. And tell you to go back to Africa to buy the land and develop it. Develop it. What a crazy business, man. Yeah. They tell you to invest in technology, people. Yhwh technology, evil technology. They want you to invest on that. Yeah. And anytime you invest in anything, you're investing in who? The controllers. Nothing else. Nothing but Yhwh. When they use the words like invest, it should be already 1 foot back. Yeah, because it's a slave market. When anytime you hear that word invest, it is a slave market. Is pulling you in. Contract. Yeah, like stock exchange and all of that crap. Yeah, that's what they call civilization. Yeah, so how are you better than the Greeks? Yeah, they all blasphemous prophets, people lying to the black people big time after the Jews, you know what I'm saying, about African culture. But you know that African culture, they claim African culture, but African culture is really Greek civilization. They all civilians in Africa. But he's gonna talk to you about, oh, no, we hate Greece. They all clowns. You know what I'm saying? They're just a bunch of clowns, man. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Because they can never ever own nothing in Africa. Yeah, with that damn civilian passport. Claiming Africa with a damn civilian passport, people. This craziness that he's gonna work hard. Yeah, Africa is not what you think. It's a mega corporation owned by the bankers. You know what I'm saying? Not owned by these dusty civilian wannabe free African Negroes, man. They just taking you for a ride. That's all I told you. And I'm not worried about them. That's why I'm not going to be there all over them. Oh, we're going to debate. Are you kidding? It's a deception machine that they're dealing. And for the guys that took the juice. It's not a... Yeah, they all deluded in their madness. And they can't help you people. You need, look after yourself because they can't take you nowhere. Being programmed androids, man. Regurgitating the false history, false science, DNA science, gold science, yeah. Power markets, yeah. Road leadership. That's the same thing that the beasts do. Can't you see what that? They're just regurgitating the same thing. Trying to lead you to do the same thing, which is what they're already doing. And you can't do that because there's somebody else already doing that. But these, school Negroes, that's what they're telling you to do. Yeah. With that Wazungo given school certificates and diplomas, they then take you for a ride. That's why they have the certificates and diplomas. From who? From Wazungo. hmm These are gatekeepers, man. You know, they're there to keep you confused, banged up, and wondering about bullshits that don't exist. Places that never, things that never gonna happen. Giving you false dreams. Telling you I had a dream. I had a dream. Where is dream at now? You still have to buy your land. The dream didn't come true. Did it? Because these niggas despise counsel. They despise wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So they walk in darkness. They got priests of darkness. Instead of. So their day is coming. It's darkness. Instead of. It's going to get really ugly for them. Yeah, I I don't want to say stuff like that, but the way they are going, maybe there will be no Negroes in the future. They're gonna disappear. That's all you need to know. Yeah, they live in darkness. The priests are darkness, and darkness consume their being, consume their souls. They can't think outside of them. They all in the box, religio, and stuff. So they cannot do the right things, say the right things, and walk in the right way. This is one thing you have to deal with. But y'all been warned, man. Yeah, there you go. They're only gonna take you for more slavery and more slaughter of all types. Yeah, civilian cultures is civilian. They always repeating that they are civilians, civilians. We are civilians. We have civilian passport. We have civilians. Yeah. So they took you to the civilian contract and make you believe that is your culture. Yeah, all the stuff they have is not their culture. It's Greek culture they gave them at school. All of them. Yeah, gave them the lands and the countries, and they're supposed to pay back. That's all. They're not autonomous or nothing. Yeah, so stop dreaming. But like these guys are gonna save you. Same like Yahweh. Same, same math. Yeah, that's why they all have a priest talking about what culture is a religion he's talking about. Because it's the religion of this world that they're building around you that yeah, the government is too big to fail and you're nothing. Yeah. And as long as you're there, you're just nothing because if you're in somewhere that you don't even know who you are, you're just a barbarian, a beast. Yeah. That's why they do whatever the hell they want with you. You know? You assume artificial identities and you cause more damage to everyone by running around talking crap instead of thinking about who you really are and where you should really go and what you should really do. It's not a, so they make all the wrong decisions. They don't know their real history. They all living listen to that, yeah. They all living fantasy. It's not a, showed you in the videos how they put up Egypt and everything, Lego style, putting everything piece by piece. But then they're gonna give you some ancient history that these niggas are selling on YouTube as official and telling them that their ancestors were in fact the persons that did this. It's not a, it's all a game they played on you. You're still asleep. And now channels are blocked. Yeah, you need to admit that you don't know your history. Yeah, and you are living the fantasy. Your country, your God, all of these things were given to you by the Nephis, okay, to deceive you so they can control you. Otherwise, they won't be controlling you and your land and everything else. You wouldn't own to them if if they didn't give you all this reality that you believe. You wouldn't be doing that or saying that or nothing. Yeah, you only say that because you are an artificial person. You are an African. Yeah, and your culture is not your culture. It's a program. Yeah, so stop claiming that all black men are Africans and look, speak for yourselves. Okay? No, I never assumed that. No, taking no contract, no BS. Yeah, because once you know the truth, you know that all these lands belong to Yahweh and Yahweh only, no matter what continent. He controls the whole thing. You have the same laws everywhere. It doesn't matter if you, the super African, yeah, black power. You're the same. You know better because you're banged up and don't know your history. So they can enroll you into any project, and that's what you got them on YouTube doing. Yeah, they want you to become a global people of the world to compete with other globalists, aliens. This helps you, right? Are you not global enough now? Have they taken is not what took all your rights away from you? Yeah, because to give you all this global glory, they need to take your rights. You got to sell your soul. These niggas are okay to selling their souls to anyone and anything. This is why they are the worst, the most lost. It's not a all religion and don't come out of the lies. While YouTube is still blocking us, you know, what do y'all think? We know what they up to, all the time, just like tuning the shots. So it's the niggers that are asleep and don't wake up until it's too late. Yeah, a person is a Babylonian in the Babylonian world is a citizen. An African citizen is no better than an European citizen or than Chinese citizen. Is no better off. It's not. It's all the same. Yeah, because I told you, you got all these African countries standing there, but they are not sovereign. They are owned by entities. They don't own Africa or nothing. Instead, they are owned by the outside entities that, you know, not to be mentioned. Will tell you Yahweh because, you know, he's the one running the whole show. But they don't get it. Yeah. Don't let them fool you that, Africa has so many resources and be better off there and this and that. No. All the other continents have, you know, all these other continents, yeah. They all have resources. They all have means to live. That if the people were free, they could use these means and they will not die. They will survive. All countries have that. Yeah, no matter where you are, you have resources because that's how the Most High made the world. You only don't have resources when you have this beast, this entity, Yahweh, that you don't know, telling you who you are, telling you what you can and cannot do. And this is not gonna go away just because you're telling these niggas that you're an African and you're taking them back to Africa to work like slaves, to buy Yahweh land. Because it's not African land. It's Yahweh banking system land. So they are incompetent, disassociated with reality, you know what I'm saying, and from the motherland itself. And because they are disassociated with the motherland, they can never ever be Africans because they have to buy the land back if they want. They are strangers. Instead, they have no connection to the land. Otherwise, they will own the land. That's how you are from somewhere because you own it. And because when you're born there, and then this place belongs to you, because I gave you this place, you know. So if you're gonna say that, then you gotta own that. Don't say I'm an African and you don't own it. Yeah, African is owned by a corporation. Don't let them fool you, man. That's all, man. I don't want to be uploading a lot of videos. I told you guys, you know, because there's no point, and people are not listening or nothing. You know, these last views, and a few ones that are following, which I'm gonna open probably. I told you another place, and that I will share just with little that you know want to follow to be on top of everything that is going on. That's all, man. Hope it's Mosai. I love you all. Peace.